Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? It is the start of another weekly craft vlog, so I hope you've all had a really good crafty week last week. Apologies, I didn't have a video up last week for my crafts because I was away and I just didn't really get anything sort of filmed and the signal was terrible, so I just left it. But what we'll do is I'll sort of start off and show you where I'm up to and what I have been working on, and yeah, we'll just sort of see how the week pans out and what I get up to. But yeah, these vlogs are just somewhere where I just share everything that I am creating. Typically it's been knitting sort of more recently, but I am hoping to branch out a bit more into the other crafts that I enjoy doing. And maybe this week I might go up in the craft room as well and do a little bit more organising, which would be really good, just to try and get a bit more of a usable space up there. And I think that'll encourage me to do my other crafts. So, places you can find me, obviously here on YouTube. I have got an Instagram page, which is, what is it called? Handmade by Marcea. Wow. Here it is, the QR code if you want to go pop over and visit me there. And I've got a TikTok as well, which is also Handmade by Marcea. There's a QR for that. And I do have a Ravelry page, and I have a project page on my Ravelry account where I share everything that I'm making, along with the wool that I'm using, the needle sizes, any project notes and photos, etc, etc, etc. So if you want to go check me out there, this is what my profile looks like, and my name on Ravelry is Lady Mawa. By all means, feel free to add me as a friend on there and I will follow you back as well, and I can have a little look at your projects too. So do let me know what you've been working on this week. Crafts I enjoy, obviously I enjoy my knitting, crochet, I've done jewellery making, paper crafts like card making, I've got a Cricut, resin, some colouring, diamond painting, bit of cross stitching. So I've got quite a few things that I do enjoy doing. But as I say, I have been focusing more on my knitting. So let me bring you up to speed with what I've been doing. So yeah, I did take all of my knitting with me last week when I was away. However, the lighting was really bad. We stayed in this lodge and the lighting wasn't great. So I had planned on finishing my husband's socks that I've been doing, but I did one round on them and I thought I just don't want to make a mistake this close on. So I did start working on my sweater. So let's start off with that. So this is my cloud sweater. It's a pattern by PetiteKnit. I am knitting it using Drops Air held double with Drops Kids Silk Mohair, and it's just coming on beautifully. All like the shade names and everything are on my Ravelry. I had picked up my sleeve just before I went, and I'd got a little bit down, hadn't I, a couple of weeks ago I think. So this was something I could work on there, and honestly I've made such great progress. So if you remember, I've got like, I've done my front and back yokes, I've started working down the body, you had done the neckline as well. I picked up the stitches, I think, the sleeves last time I saw you. But guys, let me just get this untangled. I've made such great progress. I've stopped purely because I need to add another ball of yarn. But look how my sleeve has come on. I had done I think I'd done 5 decreases when I got away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I was up to here. So last week at the lodge, I've done from where my finger is, here, up to here. So I've done all my decreases, but now I am marking it for every 10 rounds, and so I'll sort of see how I get on, just so I can match my sleeves up. This makes no sense. I think my decreases were every 12. But my new markers are now for every 10, just to keep a count. I've got the correct number of stitches on my sleeves now, so it's just a case of getting the correct length. According to the pattern, I've got a few more rounds to do, not that many. However, I think, look, I'm sure a lot of her sleeves come up quite short, so I'm going to just try it on, see how I feel. I want to get my sleeves done before I do the rest of the body, so that then I can just add on the length, and I'm not going to run out of yarn halfway through a sleeve or anything like drastic like that. I've got loads left over actually. I've still got, how much of the Drops Air? I've got 1, that's a part ball I think, 2, I've still got 3 full balls and virtually a full one here. So I reckon was hoping I should have enough. I reckon maybe 1.5 a sleeve. Probably not, it's not going to be 1.5 a sleeve, is it? If that's one ball to there. Maybe like 1 1/3, I'm not sure, 1 1/4 balls for each sleeve, and that's going to leave me like 2.5 balls for the rest of the body. So I might even just do a little bit extra of the body now, or maybe pick up the other sleeve. I don't know. Anyway, this is where we're up to. It's knitting up beautifully, but it's feeling itchy. I'm not going to lie, but it might feel better once it's been blocked. So yeah, that's where we're up to. Let me just put on. I'll put a little marker on so we can see my progress, where I'm up to, and then we can sort of track that through the rest of my, through the rest of the week. I feel like I can't speak today, so sorry. So let's just pop a little marker on here. I have got some little progress keepers, you know, but I need to get them on so we can have something nice to look at. So I put this little black marker on there. That's where we're up to with the length of the sleeve, and we'll see how that comes on through the week. But I'll just keep you updated anyway as I'm knitting on it. So that was my first thing. I've made 0 progress on my sock that I'm knitting from the 52 weeks of sock book. I'll just show you. This is just what I'm working on in a minute. However, I'm planning to get quite a bit of that done hopefully this week, so no further progress on this. This is the Linea sock. I really love the pattern and I'm loving the colour. Is that where I started from last time? I've got a marker here. I don't know. Is this from last time? I'm going to have to watch my last vlog. I wonder if I put that marker on and that's where I got up to, but I'm sure I hadn't done anything. I'm confused. Anyway, this is using, the yarn is Drops Fable. It's in the shade Rust. And then, again, yeah, all the information is over on Ravelry. But then, since I've been back home, I only got back home on Monday, so 2 days ago, and I thought, right, I just want to get like Glenn, like my husband's sock done. It seems to have been on the go for ages, so I'm making him one more step sock, which is by Denise DeSantis, Earthtones girl. And so literally it has been my mission, like last night and the night before watching TV, I literally have just cracked on with it. Here's the first sock I did. Still got my markers in. The yarn is Yarn Smith's Merino Superwash Sock Wool in the shade Rainy Days. It's really lovely. So it's a really nice pattern, this. It's just got like your little 4 rows of like cabling, just 1 by 1 cabling, and the rest is just stocking stitch. Really nice. Anyway, I had been up to, when I went away, I turned the heel and I was up to here. Guys, I have finished it. Literally, apart from the Kitchener stitch, I've just got to graft the toe. I sat yesterday, we were watching telly, and I was like, I am not putting this down until I finish it. So it is complete. I just need to graft it and then we are done. Hooray! He will have his sock, which means I can then get on to my sock. I am going to be starting a hat there for him, and he's been nattering already. He's in the background here. So he has been nattering for a hat. I'm going to be doing a Musselburgh hat, I think. I've got another ball of the same yarn. You can have matching hat and socks. How fabulous. Okay, so that is just like a basic intro where I'm up to this week. Already 10 minutes in, so but I've got the starting point. I will see you whenever I've got anything to report, whenever I do anything. So I'll catch you in a wee bit, guys. So I was just comparing the socks, thinking this looks really wide to be finishing off Kitchener. And then I looked at this, I thought, oh, have I done sock 1 wrong? No, I've done sock 1 right. I haven't finished. Thank God I didn't do kitchen stitch last night on this, because I now need to go, I've done like decreases alternate rounds like you normally do for your wedge toe, and I'm at the point now where I need to just do the decreases every round to reduce down by a further 50% to end up with that. Oh my God, if I'd have done that last night, I'd have been devastated. So I haven't finished my sock yet. I'm really sad. I'm going to sit and do that now because I just want it done. So yeah, I just need to get it. So I've got 10 stitches on each needle. I've currently got 20 on each needle. So it won't take long at all. But phew, that was a close call. Always double check your pattern before you cut your yarn. Just thought I'd bring you up to speed a bit. I've done a bit of knitting yesterday. So I have indeed finished Glenn's socks and all the ends are sewn in. And these are the first socks out of all the ones I've made, even mine, where I've actually sewn like the cuff end in as well. There's a little bit there which I'm leaving just for blocking, just to give it in case it just sort of moves a bit, but it is actually, they're all sewn in. So Glenn's really happy with these. We may get a shot of them. If otherwise, I can actually pop a picture in anyway. Do you like your socks, Glenn?
Yeah, I do. Really good.
Good. Soft. If he puts a hole in them, I'll never be making him another pair. I'll be interested to see how the merino holds up actually compared to some of the other like more rusticy sock yarns, but they just feel really nice, and it is such a nice little cable design. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I picked up my sock, the Linea one from 52 Weeks of Socks, and I think I'm just about at the point where I need to start doing the gusset increases. It's a toe up, so I had thought I was going to be like just from halfway up this pattern, but actually measuring it again, I think I've just sort of gone on a wee bit more. It says I think to do it for my size about 10.5 centimeters less than my actual foot length. So looking on this, like it says there for a UK 6, the foot length should be 24.6. So therefore I need this to be like 14 centimeters. So I bought this specifically for the toe up socks. So I've kind of put that in there, and I would say that's definitely now at the 14 mark. So I feel happy just to do that. And it's just slightly over, and you know, if it was to pull it a wee bit, but I thought I'd rather have them a little bit big than too small. It's my first toe up socks I've done, but the pattern I think is looking really nice. You can see it on the blocker, well, on the sock ruler. It's looking really nice. Just plain stocking it on the back, that on there. So yeah, I'm about ready to start the increases for that. I started doing a video because I was going to do a separate playlist for my 52 Weeks of Socks. So I need to make sure I've still got my original footage, because these have been on the needle for ages. I've just been concentrating on Glenn's sock and my sweater. So I need to make sure I've still got that footage there, because I'd like to just sort of do a little bit of just a quick chat about the next stages in that video as well. So eventually I think these will come on really quickly actually if I just sit and work on them. So I'm really happy with how that's coming on. So I just did a few rows yesterday, not many, but yeah, just a few. And then I got my cloud sweater, as you know, I showed you where I was up to there with the sleeve. And I actually thought I'm just gonna do one ball, just join a new ball onto the body and just continue on with the body. So I started that just last night actually. And did I put a little marker in where I was up to? I think that's the marker from a couple of weeks ago from my last weekly vlog. And I joined the yarn, so I'm about to see it here, won't I? I'm about to feel it. It's a bump. I've been sort of doing it as I go. So I've done, I think, 4 rows onto the bottom. It was about here where my new ball is. It looks like it's down here, but it's not. There's I actually joined it in there. Can you see? And I did it with like the invisible knot, and it's coming. It's sort of, the knot is on the back side of it, so it feels okay. And then I just caught a few of the strands as I was going along, just to secure that a wee bit further. But this is just coming on so nice. I'm going to do a try on, I think, before the end of this week. When we get to the end on Saturday, the last day of the vlog, we'll have a quick recap of where we're up to with all my projects, and I'll try this on and we'll see how it's going. But I think the sleeve's pretty much nearly the right length before doing the cuff. And then, yeah, I just thought if I do an extra ball for the body, and then I'll pick up the second sleeve, do that, see where we're up to, and go from there. So yeah, that was like my progress from yesterday. Not really encountered any problems at all. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's going. So I will pop back later on with some more progress. I do have to say though, last night I was so close to casting on another project, and I was just like, no, get these done. I really want to finish my sweater. I reckon like potentially a week that could be finished, I think, if I just sort of sit and knit with it. And then this sock, I think once I get that, I think this is going to be really quick as well. I can memorize the pattern now. I know where I am with that, so that's really sped that up. And then yeah, I'm just thinking now about when I do the bind off, I don't have like a baggy cuff with it being toe up. And I saw a post actually somewhere else where someone was talking about toe up socks. I think I saw it on Facebook. So let me know if you've got experience with toe up socks. Let me know, please. Give me a bit of advice. I saw that there was one where there's like a stretchy, is it Judy or some of Jenny's stretchy bind off? But I also saw a lot of people had said like, is it Lori? I can't remember, Lori. Lori's bind off is a good one. Yeah, any tips for casting off on toe up socks once you get to the cuff would be really great. I'd be really grateful for that. Okay, I'll catch you in a wee bit. So I've just checked about how to add a lifeline, and it is super easy. It is as I thought. You can just get a tapestry needle and some spare yarn, and then just sort of sew it through the stitches on your needle. Alternatively, if you've got interchangeable needles with the little hole in them, you can thread your thread through that and then just knit your round and it'll pull it through. Now I do have interchangeable needles, and they do have the hole in, so I will probably do that next sock. I maybe use them. I was just having a little look to see, but what I might do, I considered just switching these out to the interchangeables, because I've got some shorties which I thought I could maybe do, but I'm going to just continue on with this for now. But I've got my needle here, and this is just like something that's just been cut off from one of my old socks, because I keep all my bits of thread, all my bits of yarn, and so that's long enough to go around. So I'm just going to thread this through now. I'll show you what I'm doing so you can see, but it's like super easy. And then that way, if I do find out that the foot length is wrong, I can rip it back to before I started the heel, and go from there. And whether I need to then like tink back a bit or knit a few extra rounds to make it a bit longer, I can do that. But at least it's good practice actually, and I thought it's something that you might not have all heard about. So yeah, let's get this in and see. Okay, I'm going to add my lifeline in. So I've just got a needle, got some scrap yarn from one of like a previous sock which I just kept. So let's just thread that. She says, what am I doing here? Okay, so I've got that threaded, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to weave this through my stitches that are currently on my needle, taking care not to split the yarn. There, that's pretty straightforward actually. So this, we shall see. I just feel it's going to make me feel a wee bit more secure, just a bit happier. You can do quite a few stitches at the same time actually, especially once it's on the cable. Just make sure, as I say, you don't split them. I've got a needle that's not very sharp, which is ideal. So as you can see there, and I'm just pulling that through. So effectively it's acting like a little mini cable, so that if I do need to pull this all back later on, all my stitches are going to be caught. You can sort of see there both sides. Make sure I don't pull it out at the other end. I think it'd be interesting if I do the other sock. Well, I won't need to do this on the other sock, because I should have known, I'll know the foot length if it's right or not. But I think this is going to be really handy if you get into a bit on any pattern, whether it's a sweater or whatever, and you're just not quite sure about the next bit, or you're worried that you're going to make a mistake, or it might need adjusting. I think if you've got a lifeline in, It's just a bit of a safety blanket because I'm not one of these people that can pull a needle out, rip it back, and then just pick up the loops and making sure that I'm not getting any of my stitches twisted or anything else. I'm finding this is easy if I just kind of run the needle along the cable as well. So yeah, this is the first time I've done this. So yeah, just thought I'd share it with you. I'll come back once I've got to the end. But yeah, I found just here, just you can feel it along the edge of the cable, and that way you kind of know you're in the right place. But yeah, it looks like all the stitches are going on beautifully. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. So that's just what it looks like just before I pull the needle through. I'm just doing this one-handed so you get a better idea. And then, yeah, you just pull that through. She says, there we go. And then, so there, that is my lifeline all the way around. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I just need to take care next when I'm knitting this that I don't catch the lifeline when I'm knitting this next round. That's, I suppose, one thing that I need to be careful of. But at least I have got that safety net now. And at the end, once I finish, if I don't need it, then you just snip it and remove it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully I'm not going to need this, but it's there if I do. I am a great overthinker. I was looking about doing the gusset increases. I thought I'll just check a couple of YouTube videos, and I did that, and it's just really weird because the pattern, because you've got like you make one lefts and make one rights, but they seem to be on the opposite side to what all the tutorials are. So like on this one, so like you've got at the start of your row, it's where am I here? You know, I make one left and knit to the end, make one right. But on all the tutorials I've seen, they do make one right first and then make one left. So I don't know, but I'm just going to follow the pattern, do what it says, and otherwise I'm just going to sit here for ages. I just need to just knit it and probably trust the process. But yeah, I'm definitely overthinking this one a bit too much, I think. Oh, guys, last night I did a thing. Why didn't you stop me? So I took this yarn, which is the same as what I knit Glenn's socks in. So this is the Yarn Smith Merino Sock Superwash. Just realised I should probably show you the like the tags and things when I'm talking about different wools and things I'm using. So yeah, this is what it is. It's a lovely wool, really nice, gorgeous. Anyway, I've cast on the Musselburgh hat. Oh my God, what a thing this is. So it's slowly taking shape. It's a very, considering it's going to be like a massive beanie, I think this is just like the really slow bit, isn't it? This is just doing all the increases. So this is a paid for pattern by Isolde Teague, is it? Definitely is Isolde. It's probably like one of the most famous hats, most knitted hats around. I'll link it anyway in my Ravelry pages. But here we go. This is where we're up to so far. We are getting there. The cast on was absolutely fine. Look at that. What a lovely centre point to be going from. So I started here. Isn't that really neat? I've decided to knit it on 3.5mm needles. Actually, what does it even say on here on this on the label to use? Just wondering what size needles it says to use. It says here 2.25 to 3.25. I would have done 3.25. However, I haven't got them that size. I'm interchangeables. I've got 3 and then I've got 3.5. I did consider doing it as a 3, but I don't want it to be really dense. We'll see how it goes. It's the first hat. I can maybe knit another one in with 3mm and see how I get on, and then just decide which I like. But the good thing with this pattern is you can use any size yarn. You don't need to gauge swatch. You just keep it. They all start off the same. You increase so far. You check how many stitches per inch you've got, and then from that it tells you how many increases and rounds and things like that you need to do. So it's fully adjustable for any type of yarn really. So yeah, hopefully it's going to work out all right, to be honest, because I'm quite tight tension anyway, although it feels really loose in this for some reason. I think it's just because it's such a funny way. God, this light's shocking, but it's coming on so far, so good. But anyway, yeah, I have cast that on. I want to get to the stage where I've got no more increases to do, and then it'll just be a mindless knit at night. So that's on the go for whenever it gets finished. I was going to start a Christmas stocking, but then I thought, no, if I start that, that's going to be the only thing I work on. I was going to do the Arnie and Carl, is it Arnie and Carl's? I can't remember the names. Anyway, the two Scandinavian chaps. And I think this is like the third year they've done like a knit-along, a mystery knit-along Christmas stocking. I've downloaded the bits so far. There's only another couple of I think it finishes at the end of this week. It's been like a 4-week knit-along project. It looks really good, actually. But I do know if I start that, I will just work solely on that. And I really want to crack on with my sweater. That's coming on really, really well. But anyway, yeah, I just came on to say, I've cast on another project. But I've only got a couple of things going just now. I've got my sweater, my socks, and now this hat. Plus like my blanket in the background. So I don't think that's too bad. And then hopefully I can get all of these things finished before the end of the year. Definitely before the end of the year. And then we can go into the new year just like ready to tackle like a new sweater project, I think. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. So I'm just really keen to keep developing my knitting skills and things. So yeah, but I had to come on and confess that I did the cast on last night. Oops. Hiya. I thought I would just give you a bit of a catch up. It's Saturday morning now. So I just thought I'd show you what I was working on yesterday and how that's all going. So yesterday morning I popped on, I'll let you know I'd started my Musborough hat on Thursday night. Anyway, yesterday morning I had a bit of a disaster and I was changing the cable so I could have like a different cable size going from magic loop to circular, and I dropped a load of my stitches. And I just thought, I just couldn't retrieve it. So I thought, rather than like tinking back, I just thought, let's just start again. So I restarted the hat yesterday. And I've caught up to where I was at and a little bit beyond. And actually, it was a bit faster this time than the first time round. I can probably just about measure my stitches to see what my gauge is. So this is, it looks a bit airy because I've got the sun coming through it, but here's where we're at. That's kind of like my gauge. The only thing is, I think in my head I should have had a slightly smaller needle size. I'm knitting this on 3.5s, which is looking okay, but I just don't know if the fabric's going to be not as dense as I wanted. I think ideally I'd have had maybe a 3.25mm, but the problem is in my interchangeable needles I don't have a 3.25. On my shorty set I have got a 3mm, which would be fine, so I potentially could have done them on a 3, but I think on my the 4-inch tips I don't think I've got a 3. I think that no, they start at 3.5, and I think that's what sort of made my decision. I think in hindsight I should have probably just used like the shorties with the longer cable and had a tighter gauge. I think 3mm would maybe have been better. So I'm now at the stage again where I'm thinking, do I restart it at this stage? Because it's only a few hours knitting in. Do I restart it? But I have seen some people do knit on 3.5mm, and I am quite a tight knitter. I'm not like a loose knitter, so I think, do I just do it and see how it turns out and use it as my first Musborough hat, use it as a test and see where we go. And then if I'm not happy with it, then next time I'll just go down to 3mm. And then if that feels too dense, I'll maybe need to try and just see if I can get some 3.25 tips. I don't know if Knit Pro do them because they're not in any of the sets, but either that or I think just specifically for Musborough, I could just buy 3.25mm needles and be done with it. I've just got a funny feeling I might have some. I don't know if I've actually got a 3.25mm needle already, circular needle. Let me just check. I've just had a strange feeling from when I did my double knit socks. I don't know if that was Oh my God, I have. I can't believe it. I've got a 3.25 here, which I could have done a magic loop. I'm wondering now what to do. I can't believe I just had this thought that, why didn't I think of that yesterday when I restarted it? Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know, just to carry on anyway and see how it turns out. But then it's a lot of knitting if it's not quite right. I don't know. I might have a little look through on some Ravelry projects and see what other people have used, what size needles. But I think a lot use smaller needles. So, do you know, I might just take it back again and start again. The fact that it's already in my head and making me wonder, restart for the third time. It's better now, isn't it, whilst I'm still in the crown. Okay, so that's where I'm up to. Let me know what you think. I'm going to put these needles in the bag with this project. So that's where I'm up to with that. And yeah, I'm only 24 rounds in. It's not the end of the world. And I'm getting a lot faster now with my increases. You know, I'm in a rhythm with that. I understand what I'm doing, and I manage no problem at all with like the little tiny cast. I was really pleased actually with my center cast on. It's really neat. I think that's really, really good. So I'm so happy with that. It's tiny. So yeah, that's worked out well. Okay, so that was that. And then I also worked on a bit more on my Linea sock. I haven't done that much, but just a few more rows of, you can see now the gusset increases are actually starting to take shape. She says you can't really, can you see there? So we're starting to get the increased bit here. So what I was doing, this was being knit on 9-inch circulars, and I found that it was just getting a bit bumbled up. So I've switched, I had a 10-inch circular, so I've just put them onto that, and it's definitely feeling a bit more comfortable so far at that point. I'm currently on round 68 of the pattern rows. So yeah, it's coming on really, really nicely. And I just keep saying it, I think I love the stitch definition with the Drops Fable. I think it looks really lovely. This is a 2.5mm needle as well. And I've just got my thing all tangled. Oh, what am I doing today? Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I'll come back when I've got some progress. I'm going to have a little think about that hat. I think, do you know what? I think it's maybe telling me just to leave it for now. So I'm not going to do any more work on the hat. I would like you to let me know if you've made a Musselburgh hat using 4-ply sock yarn. What size needle do you use, and what's your tension like, and what have they turned out like? I think I'm going to restart it. I think what I need to do for now is just concentrate on this sock and on my cloud sweater and just crack on with them. I've been also thinking about making oh, do I want to make some mittens? Do I want to do some gift knits for Christmas for people? And like, it's so tempting just to cast on loads and loads of projects. But I just know if I knuckle down, I can get this sweater finished probably in the next week. So I just think maybe that should be my priority, to get my sweater done, and then I can wear it. And yeah, that'd be really nice. Anywho, that's where I'm up to. I'll be back in a bit. That was a long ramble, but hi. Happy weekend, guys. I'm just popping on to wrap up this week's craft vlog. But yesterday, it was actually Sunday morning, so it should have been finished last night, but I realised I hadn't come on to say goodbye and give you an update where I'd been to. But yeah, what a weird 24 hours of knitting I've had, and literally it's just been non-productive really, because let's go. So my Linea sock, I'd picked it up to work on it, and I do not know what I was even thinking of. I didn't even check the pattern, because I kind of like, I know the pattern, but this kind of like traveling cable, if you will, you know, for the diamond shape, you kind of like cable one left or right every other row. And for some reason, I'd started doing that on every row instead of alternate rows. And then I just looked at it and I thought, what an absolute, I thought, I just can't tink it back loads of rows. I wasn't quite sure where it had gone wrong. Plus it was the gusset increase bit. So what I did, thank goodness I had my lifeline. I should have filmed it. I know I never, but I just took my needles out, ripped it back and the lifeline worked. I was able to pick all those stitches back up onto my needle, so it definitely served its purpose. And I have now done all of my gusset increases. Let me just fold this so you can kind of see it's starting to take shape as a sock, and you can see now like heading towards that heel. Oh, this is really difficult. Can you sort of see how that's increasing here? I've made those extra stitches and I'll be starting to do the heel flap in a minute, I think. So yeah, that's gone well. So I'm glad. I could have kind of maybe left it and no one would have known, but I would have known, and the pattern would have been out, and then yeah. So if you're going to do it, just do it right. So that was that. So basically I'm pretty much back to where I was. However, I've knit all of that again from that sort of lifeline up. So I was really happy, and it didn't take long at all. So we'll be able to make progress with that next week for sure. So that was that. And then I've knit just a couple of rounds on my cloud sweater, nothing much, maybe about 4 or 5 rounds on the bottom. So I will show you that bit. And then my Musselburgh hat. So I've redone the Musselburgh hat again, but I am definitely thinking I want to do this on a smaller gauge needle. I might just do it on 3mm, and I do have the 3mm shorty tips. So I think I'm just going to rip this out, start it for the 3rd time. I just don't think I'm going to be happy with it on the 3.5. I do think it's just going to be, the tension's going to be just too loose. So yeah, I've done that twice. We'll be doing that a 3rd time as well. I just don't know what's been going on. And then last night, I thought, oh, I'm just going to cast something on. And so I have got this yarn, which is the Stylecraft Head Over Heels. It's a 4-ply sock yarn. It's a self-patterning. This is what the pattern's meant to look like. And it is in the shade Saunter. I think this was on sale on Wool Warehouse. It wasn't very much at all. Yeah, it's shade 3231 Saunter. It is a 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide. There is 433 yards, approximately 396 meters. Oh, my eyes. I didn't sleep last night at all. Still awake at 5:30 this morning. Not sure why. So anyway, what I've done is, because all of the socks I've knit myself previously have all been on a 2.25mm needle. So I thought I'd quite like to try a pair of socks for myself on 2.5s just to see the difference, how I feel about the different needle sizes, because as I say, I'm quite a tight knitter. So this one looks like quite a nice like autumnal shade. And so all I've done, I don't know what pattern I'm going to do yet, but I've cast on 64 stitches, which is what I normally do, and I've just started doing a 2x2 rib, and then I'll decide what I want to do in a minute. I might do either like a broken rib sock or like the sock broker light sock, which I did already, and then I can compare the two. I might look at the socks I've already made and then just sort of decide from there, just remake one. I just kind of want something that when I don't want to work on my sweater because that's awful big, and then if I'm needing to concentrate on my Linea sock, I'd like to have like an easy knit just to pick up and mindlessly knit. So that's why I wanted to do this one. So yeah, I've just sort of cast on a new sock. And then, yeah, that's it. So that's everything for this week. I'm not sure how productive a week it's been, really. But sometimes some weeks are just like that, aren't they? But I kind of have made a bit of progress anyway. I'm pleased that I've managed to work on my Linea sock. I'd have been onto the leg if I had not made that mistake yesterday. But yeah, there we go. So hopefully in next week's vlog, we will get one sock completed, and then we can see what that's like size-wise to fit on and if it's going to fit me. So yeah, that's that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Let me know what you're working on as well. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in next week's update. So thanks a lot, guys. Bye for now.